Hi, welcome to Forensic Insights. My name's Sarah Spivey and this is our channel where we're going to teach you about the forensic evidence in criminal cases. We're not here to celebrate criminal cases, but we're here to learn about the forensic evidence, forensic analysis and forensic investigation. If you like what you see, please subscribe and share our channel. Thank you. The case we're looking at today is the murder of Sadie Hartley in January 2016. Now, Sadie didn't turn up for work and one of her colleagues phoned the police for a wellness check. The police arrived at her house, gained entry and unfortunately found Sadie deceased with 41 stab wounds. The police contacted her partner Ian Johnson, who was away skiing. He had a cast iron alibi. He told the police about an ex-girlfriend of his called Sarah Williams and that she was very jealous of his relationship with Sadie Hartley. The police arrested Sarah Williams and her friend Katrina Walsh, and they interviewed them over a course of 3 days. Through the investigation and the forensic evidence and everything they found, they actually charged them both with murder. They went to trial in August 2016 and they were both found guilty of murder. Sarah Williams received a life sentence with a minimum of 30 years imprisonment. Katrina Walsh, received a life imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years. This case is one of the best cases of forensic evidence analysis I've ever seen. So let's look at the forensic evidence in the Sadie Hartley murder investigation. This was a fantastic police investigation headed by Senior Investigating Officer, SIO Paul Withers. It was one of the best I've ever seen, which is why we're going to focus on it today. The police and forensic experts, CSIs, everybody who was involved collected amount of evidence, including interview testimony, DNA profiling from blood evidence, CCTV analysis, ANPR analysis, diary analysis, and they found the murder weapons. There's so much in this case, so let's look at it piece by piece. The police arrested Sarah Williams on suspicion of the murder of Sadie Hartley. They interviewed her and she did what a lot of people do and she went no comment. That's what a lot of people do. They also arrested her friend, Katrina, known as Kit Walsh, and they were interviewing her. Now, Kit did not go no comment. Immediately, she told police that she had a 3-sleep memory. So she lost her memory after 3 days. The police did all the relevant medical checks they've got to ensure that she was okay to do interviews. They did their due diligence, making sure she wasn't a vulnerable person. They actually proved that she was lying about this, which is really interesting. Kit Walsh actually told the police that she was scared of Sarah Williams and that Sarah did murder Sadie Hartley. So let's look at what the police did. Because of what Kit Walsh told the police, they gained search warrants for Sarah Williams' house and car. They went to Sarah Williams' house and a dedicated police investigation team and CSIs searched the house. Under Sarah Williams' bed, they found an old Nokia telephone, and that Nokia telephone had call histories to local used car dealerships. The police rang the last number on there and actually determined that Sarah Williams bought a blue Renault Clio. Now that is really important. I'm going to come back to that in a second. They also, in Sarah Williams' bath, found some red flecks that they suspected to be blood. Now, when you're in a crime scene, the CSIs will do a Castle-Mayer test, which is a presumptive test to say if it could be blood. They did this, that's in one of our short videos, and they found that it was positive for blood. So the CSIs, they took another sample of this blood, or suspected blood, and sent it off to the labs. There, the forensic scientists conducted DNA profiling analysis, and they actually matched the DNA back to Sadie Hartley. So now the police have got Sadie Hartley's blood in Sarah Williams' bath. That is a very good link, a forensic link. They also searched Sarah Williams' Volvo, and in there they found a pair of glasses, and on that again were some red flecks. They sent these off to the lab to be analysed, and again it came back positive for Sadie Hartley's blood. So we've got some fantastic pieces of evidence already. The police then decided to track the Renault Clio. They had the registration plate, so they put it into the police ANPR cameras. ANPR cameras are automatic number plate recognition, and most police cars are now kitted out with a system that automatically tracks cars through their number plate, and it can tell the police whether they've not got insurance or tax or shouldn't be on the road or if they're stolen. The police tried to track the car through the reg plate, but it didn't show up anywhere. Now this is suspicious because the car would show up. It would show up everywhere. It would show up on motorway cameras, it would show up on traffic light cameras and in police cars, but it didn't show up. Now, a very clever police officer thought, I wonder if they might have adapted one of the numbers. And he looked at the 3 and he thought, a bit of masking tape and you can make that into an 8. So they actually searched the ANPR camera for the reg, but changed the 3 to an 8, and they actually tracked the car. They tracked that blue Renault Clio all the way from that car park right the way to Sadie Hartley's house and had it on CCTV parked on Sadie Hartley's street. Sarah Williams exited that blue Renault Clio, walked down, and this is on doorbell cameras, street CCTV, business CCTV. She walked down the street, disappeared for 4.5 minutes, and then she came back, got in the blue Renault Clio, and they tracked it on ANPR cameras again all the way back to the car park where Kit Walsh was waiting. Sarah Williams then got into Kit Walsh's car, or her car, the Volvo, and they exited. The police then had that car. They sent a recovery team, forensic recovery team, recovered the car, conducted forensic analysis, and Sadie Hartley's blood was throughout that car. And obviously the DNA of Sarah Williams and Kit Walsh and the fingerprints were also in that car, linking them. CCTV analysis played a massive part in this place. The police have dedicated officers who will search through CCTV. Now, Sadie Hartley had told her partner, Ian Johnson, that a strange person had delivered a bunch of flowers to her about a week before she was murdered. So the police looked at CCTV from around her house on that day. They looked at doorbell cameras again, businesses, street CCTV, and they actually had on the CCTV evidence Sarah Williams and Kit Walsh with a bunch of flowers walking up the street. Kit Walsh took it to the door, gave them to Sadie, and then walked back to Sarah Williams. Kit would later tell police that they did this to check that it was where Sadie lived. The police then checked local supermarkets or places where they could buy flowers, and they had in Tesco's Kit and Sarah, so Kit Walsh and Sarah Williams, both buying the flowers at the local supermarket. Again, fantastic evidence showing premeditation, and that is really important in a murder investigation in the UK. CCTV wise, they also had Sarah Williams buying a big carving knife, a very large carving knife on CCTV, which would later be recovered and matched as the murder weapon. The police also conducted a search of Kit Walsh's house, and in that house they found a fantastic piece of evidence. They found diaries. Now, Kit Walsh was an avid diary keeper. She'd kept diaries for the last 18 months, and in those diaries she'd written about planning the murder of Sadie Hartley. She'd also written about things that had happened in the past, proving she did not have the 3 sleeps or 3-day memory as she claimed. Those diaries showed premeditation, showed planning, and they would be the downfall and what gave the police everything to interview Kit Walsh and get the information. Another big part of any murder investigation is the autopsy. At the autopsy, it was discovered that the cause of death was 41 stab wounds, but they also found a stun gun barb in Sadie Hartley's cheek. Now, this would be vital later on. Kit Walsh told the police that she was scared of Sarah Williams and that she'd actually buried the murder weapons. She took police to a local farm that she had access to and to a pile of horse manure. Now, she said she'd used this to cover the scent of the blood that was on the evidence. When the CSIs excavated that area, they located the carving knife matching the one in the CCTV that Sarah Williams bought. That knife was sent off for forensic analysis, and the blood on it came back positive for the blood of Sadie Hartley. They also found a stun gun, which had 1 barb missing, and that matched the barb that was found from the autopsy. They also found the car keys for the blue Renault Clio, and this all had fingerprints and DNA of Kit Walsh and Sarah Williams and Sadie Hartley. The police also had evidence to prove that Sarah Williams and Kit Walsh actually travelled to Germany to buy the stun gun, which again shows premeditation. The police arrested Sarah Williams and Kit Walsh 3 days after Sadie Hartley's murder, and they interviewed them for 3 days. They conducted this whole criminal investigation in 3 days, where they found all the evidence, the CCTV evidence, the ANPR evidence, the blue Renault Clio, the murder weapons. They conducted the DNA profiling. They did everything in these 3 days. Now that, led by Senior Investigating Officer Paul Withers, just shows how fantastic this murder investigation team was in their roles. Absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best forensic investigation cases I've seen. All this evidence was used to build a picture from the diaries that Sarah Williams and Kit Walsh planned this murder over 18 months. The premeditation was there, the planning was there, the forensic evidence was there, and the confession was there from Kit Walsh. All this was used at court to secure a conviction. Now, this is one of the best cases I've seen. I hope you found this interesting on Forensic Insights, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.